Hello, you beautiful people. So, I know it's kind of early, but we just got Ashveil's entire kit, and I'm pretty sure all of you are here because you're curious about what he does and his playstyle, right? Well, fortunately for you, that's exactly what I'm going to talk about in this video. Today, I'll basically go over Ashveil's entire kit in detail, including his basic abilities, talent, traces, light cone, his best teammates or synergies, and at last, I'll also tell you whether he is worth pulling or not. Honestly though, gotta say, I was not expecting Ashveil to be this broken. Like, he is basically Mose, but around 100 times better and provides more buffs than literally any harmony in the entire game. Sounds broken, right? Well, he really is just that good, and I'm not even exaggerating here. By the way, the patch 4.0 banners featuring Sparksy and Yaguang along with the reruns are going to be here very soon, and if you're planning on spending on these or any of the future banners, let me recommend Loot Bar to you. Personally, I have been using Loot Bar for over a year, as I use it to gift all the giveaways that I host on my channel along with the top-ups that I do on my account. They are completely safe and uses currency exchange to get you discounts on the stellar jades or shards that you are going to buy anyway. On top of this, they've got tens of thousands of 5-star reviews, and by using or clicking on my link, you can save over 25% on all of your purchases. Yep, the process to use Loot Bar is super simple. Just click the pack you want, enter your in-game UID along with the region, and your top-up is delivered within minutes. Also, new users get a 10% off coupon, and returning users can still grab a 5% or 3% off just by clicking my link, so do keep that in mind. Alright, with the sponsor done, keep in mind the usual stuff that this version of Ashveil's kit is the literal first iteration of it, and he will likely get a lot of changes in the upcoming weeks as well. So you should keep an eye out for all the videos I'll make whenever he gets changes made to his kit. With that being said, let's begin without wasting any more of your time or energy. So, starting with the pure basics, Ashveil is a lightning-type unit who follows the path of the hunt, and he mainly plays the role of a follow-up-based main DPS on your team. I'm not kidding when I say that he literally has everything in his kit, like he provides a lot of buffs. He does damage, and his follow-up attacks are very easy to trigger, which makes him spam them a lot, so overall, he is literally the perfect follow-up unit. Honestly, his entire kit starts with his talent, which is a stacking charge mechanic. So, whenever he enters a battle, Ashveil starts with around 3 charges and can hold up to 5 of them at a single time. Now, whenever an enemy who is marked by Ashveil gets hit by an ally, or you can say a character on your team, Ashveil himself will consume one of these charges that he has and unleash a follow-up attack against this particular target. Along with this, performing a follow-up attack also grants him a stack of something called gluttony, but that's a topic for the later parts of this video, as you'll need a little more understanding of his kit to know what gluttony does. Anyways, I know that when I mentioned this mark while talking about his skill, a lot of you were probably confused about how he applies this mark, right? Well, it's honestly really simple. Just using his skill on an enemy target applies a mark to them somewhat similar to Mose, and additionally, it also grants him an extra stack of charge while doing some minor lightning damage as well. Here is the important part about his skill though, so whenever he uses his skill on an enemy who is already marked by him, he does a huge amount of lightning damage to this enemy while also recovering a free skill point. Overall, his skill is a pretty important part of his kit because it's his way of applying marks while also recovering free skill points, but even now, I haven't told you about the best part of his skill, which makes me consider his skill really broken. Basically, whenever there is an enemy on the field who is marked by Ashveil, he reduces the defense of all enemies on the field by 40%. Yep, don't worry, you heard me totally correct when I said all enemies and not just one, and I suppose you're getting why I think this skill is insane, right? He literally provides a 40% defense reduction just for existing on the field and using his skill a single time. Moving on, his ultimate is pretty much a big combination of everything I've talked about so far. Firstly, it deals massive lightning damage to a single target. Secondly, it gives him 2 charge stacks, and lastly, it makes it so that Ashveil immediately does a follow-up attack to an enemy consuming a single charge stack from his talent. Now though, the twist here is that this follow-up attack is enhanced, and do you remember those gluttony stacks I talked about earlier? Yep, it uses those stacks for this enhanced follow-up. So, during this enhanced follow-up attack, if Ashveil has 4 or more stacks of gluttony, he will consume these to increase the damage multiplier by quite a lot. Like, if I had to put it in simpler terms, a total of 4 gluttony stacks basically adds an entire Fei Xiao ultimate worth of damage onto this follow-up attack, which is honestly kind of insane. Here's the interesting part though. If this damage from his enhanced follow-up kills the enemy and he still has 4 or more gluttony stacks, he will continue unleashing this gluttony damage onto a new marked target, which is automatically selected. Honestly, this kind of gives him like a pseudo AoE, working pretty similar to how Zila does and kind of fixing the multi-target problem that hunt units tend to have. Next up, let's take a look at his traces a little and talk about how they work around his kit. So, starting off, his first trace makes his skill and ultimate give 1 and 2 stacks of gluttony respectively, and also makes it so that he gets 1 stack of gluttony whenever an enemy is killed by a follow-up attack done by him. Moving on, his second trace is a pretty nice buffing trace, as it increases the damage dealt by his follow-ups by about 80% in total. Additionally, it also generates 3 energy whenever Ashveil does a follow-up attack. Overall, this is a very great trace because it buffs him a lot and also provides extra energy for his massive 160 energy cost ultimate. Lastly, his third trace increases the crit damage of all the characters on your team by about 40% and follow-up damage by an additional 80%. Yep, this trace is by far his most broken trace, and isn't it insane that he gives 40% crit damage and 80% extra follow-up attack damage to your entire team by literally doing nothing and just standing on the field? Finally, considering we're already done with his base kit, let's take a little look at his light cone and Eidolons as well. Honestly, I will say his light cone is one of the simplest ones, where it just increases his crit rate, attack, and reduces the defense of the enemies by about 12%. I would generally consider this a pretty decent light cone, but in my opinion, the hunt path already has the best free-to-play options when you talk about light cones, so don't be surprised if he is quite free-to-play friendly. Now, just like light cone, his Eidolons are pretty simple as well. Starting off, his E1 increases the damage taken by all enemies by 24%, increasing to about 36% against enemies with 80% HP or lower. Moving on, his E2 is his best Eidolon by far, where it increases the max stacks of gluttony he can hold up to a total of 18. Along with this, it also lets him refund 35% of gluttony stacks consumed when he uses his ultimate. Overall, his E2 is the best one to go for if you do want to vertically invest in him, and his E4 and E6 are pretty mid if I do say so myself. Well, there you go. With that, I've covered Ashveil's entire kit in detail, along with his light cone and Eidolons as well. Overall, Ashveil is one of the strongest characters we've gotten, being both an excellent DPS and a sub-DPS for anyone that uses follow-ups, and I think that if he manages to make it through this beta without being nerfed, it's an amazing day for male DPS fans in general. If you actually made it this far into the video, I just want to say thanks, and I genuinely love y'all. Also, I didn't mention it before as it gets annoying, but if you liked the video, then do consider subscribing. With that being said, I hope you got what you were looking for, and I will see you in another one.